Okay, so hey, ah, I am so glad that we're on tonight. Look, I was celebrating this momentous occasion. It's been over a year since I've had people on live. So, like, I am so excited. And then I've got four wonderful ladies that are on here with me. So, I am super stoked. If I tell you how excited I am, you wouldn't even be able to like grasp it. You know what I mean? Like I am so okay, I'm gonna calm down. Okay, y'all. I am so excited to have y'all here. Now tonight we're talking about body image. Now I kind of wanted to give you just a little bit of my testimony so that you can understand where I'm coming from and the heart behind it. Okay, so let's go. Let's get to it. And then I'm going to introduce these magnificent guests and we're going to go from there. Okay, y'all excited about that? I am.
Yes.
Okay, we calm down a little bit. So, just to let you know, I've been married for almost 18 years. Can y'all believe that? Like, I just can't. That's somebody's whole life. But yeah, there we go. I've been married for my whole life. So, like, it's really freaking me out a little bit. But before I got married, one of the things that I was super concerned about was my size. Now, I was a beanpole, like straight up and down. Like, you could just like blow me and I would fly away or whatever. Now, not so much now, I've had children. Anyway, so I'm just a beanpole. And one of the things that I had heard the most of, which I was like super concerned about, was that I didn't have the body that most men wanted.
Mm,
Anybody testify about that? I
yes.
did not have the body that men were looking for. So like I'm 5'10", flat, kind of tested. I mean, I had a little bit. I mean, enough to make my shirt poke out a little bit. And then everything at the bottom was like banging from here, like right here. Like, you see me, like the middle of me up. Well, the middle of me to my neck. Guys just weren't interested in it. And I was super paranoid. Like, I was so paranoid that I had put in my mind if I get enough money, I am going to have breast implants
Mm,
because no man is going to want me without big breasts. Okay? No man. So like I've made up in my mind, every relationship that I've had, I've heard people say that, you're the most flat chested woman that I've ever been with. And I'm like, you like me, but you don't like the way that I look. Okay, anyway, that's beyond that. And I don't even know why I stayed. Right? That should have been a clue. Run. Anyway, but my body image, what I saw on TV, what I saw around me. My cousins were all like 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", had the full package. And I had half of a package. And I was really depressed about that. So like we went through this whole thing and I'm about to get married. I'm okay, so fast forward. It wasn't like, I just woke up and I was about to get married. But I was 20 something years old and I had been proposed to, and I am freaking out, okay? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, this man's not gonna want me. My breasts are too small. Like, whoo. And for all the men, I'm sorry, but this is real. Like, this is real women stuff. This is real body image things. These are real body image things that women deal with and face on a regular basis. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna get married to this man and he is not gonna be satisfied with who I am as a woman. Like my breasts are way too small. Okay, by the way, hi y'all. Everybody just joined in. Hi. Okay, I got overly excited. Sorry. Didn't mean to jump in. So look, my breasts are way too small. So we're in marriage counseling, and they were like, "Hey, the marriage counselor was like, have you guys talked about real critical issues that are critical to you, um, up until this point?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." So I opened up. I was like, "Look, I'm really ashamed of the way that I look. I'm sorry that I look this way. I know that I'm not as big as most women." And he looks at me and he was like, "What? You're absolutely perfect. Like, I love your body. Like, in the Bahamas, you are banging. Everybody wants to be with you. Right? He was like, we love the small upper body and the woo, yeah. So like all of those concerns and worries that I had that were a part of our culture. I'm gonna say that one more time. They were a part of our culture here in the States. That Coke bottle figure. Now I'm not talking about the Coke bottles that they have today. They look kind of wonky, but you know, the old Coke bottle. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Bottle
we
figure.
do.
You know, the breasts, the hips, the legs, you know, all the way down. That Coke bottle image or bottle figure, I didn't have that. But it didn't mean that somebody somewhere else didn't have the same thing. Can I get a hands up if you hear me? Holla if you hear me.
I can hear you now.
Don't. Come on, y'all. Y'all say, you know what I mean. Anyway, so um all that kind of went out the window, you know, like I didn't have those same concerns. I knew that he loved me for me. Right? That boosted my confidence because I'm going into this marriage not thinking that I'm less than, not competing with what I see in those images outside, but knowing that he's satisfied with the woman that I am. Okay? So then, you know, time passes and have babies and all that other stuff. Yeah, it's nice. Shout out to the people that don't have babies. But time passes. I'm not trying to forget y'all, I'm not trying to leave you out. Shout out to y'all too. But time passes and I have 3 kids. Okay. My body is not the same. I'm not that small. Y'all can see it in my face, right? I'm not that small, you know, blow in the wind and me fly away woman. I am a full figured woman. So at this point, being a full figured woman, like I don't have any confidence. So I'm like, okay, well, back in the day, he liked the skinny, small breast size, hips, you know, like he liked that part of me. Now that all those parts are enlarged with stretch marks, he's not gonna like those very much, right? Wrong, wrong. I've gotten to the point to where I picked up so much weight that I'm uncomfortable with. And he was like, I love you just the same. You look just the same to me. Like I love who you are as a woman. So whether you're small or big or whatever, it doesn't matter. Now I feel like I'm blessed kind of in that way that he appreciates me no matter what I look like. But not all women are experiencing the same thing. A lot of women are putting themselves through mutilation, have eating disorders, and all kinds of different things. And especially since COVID happened and we've been on social distancing, right? We've social distanced. Now we're online. And guess what? My nose looks funny. My eyebrows look funny. So people are self conscious of the way they look because of the camera that's on the computer.
Mhm.
And I've
Yeah.
heard that it's plastic surgeries are on the rise because of it. People are fixing their faces so that they could have social media that
Oh yeah.
look distorted in
Mm.
person, but they're acceptable. Okay. All right. That's my short story, long. But I want to introduce these ladies. So with me, I have Elnora Brown. Now, I affectionately call her Nora, but Elnora Brown, she is the founder and life coach for Girl Talk Inc. She is
Yes.
also a social media influencer. Next, I have Whitney Jacob. She is the She's an influencer, but she's also a business owner. What is it? Freedom Fitness. Like she's on here as our health expert and all that other stuff, nutrition expert. Then I've got Denisha McCarter. She's a district coordinator for a national business. Oh, all right. She's also a vocalist. So, You got a wedding, whatever. Anyway, and then we've got Bree Yancey. Now, look, shout out to Bree because she just graduated with her Master's of Fine Arts degree.
Wow.
Congrats,
Congratulations.
Yes,
congrats.
I'm so excited. Okay, I know I'm really pumped up. But anyway, Bree also is a content writer and she is a vocalist also. So, yeah, anybody else singing on here?
Mm-mm.
Anyway, look, Marcus just jumped on. I guess he's, feeling good about himself because I said all those wonderful words. He says hi. All right. So, look, I want to take a few minutes and I want you ladies, I introduced you a little bit, but introduce yourself. And then I want you to take a few minutes and talk about your body image journey. So, we're going to start out with you, Bree. Talk about who you are and then tell me about your body image journey.
Yes. Okay. Well, hello everyone. My name is Bree. I currently live in Tulsa. I was born in California, raised in Texas. Came here for school and decided to stay. Yes, I did graduate with my master's of fine arts and creative writing. Actually, October 1st, so that's like still like a whoo. And yeah, I'm just ready for like the next part of my life, the next season, and just ready to see what happens. But as far as my body image journey, I'm young. I'm 23, so I grew up with. I was part of the generation that like we still played outside. And then I like was raised like with a phone. So like I had like a brick phone, and then like it just kind of went up to like an iPhone, just. So it was interesting when I didn't actually end up having body image issues until like middle school. I skipped second grade, so I was like 1 or 2 years younger than everybody else in like my current grade. And I specifically remember I wanted this pair of pants that my mom bought me from like Kohl's or something. It was like light blue and had like purposeful like bleach spots. So it's like, it was like cool, trendy, hip, like, oh, I was trying to be cool, like, oh. Unfortunately, those did not fit me at all. Like they were baggy. They were just they weren't giving what they were supposed to give. Right. Versus I wore them one day and this other girl in my grade had the same pair of pants and they were like a second skin on her. Just flattered, just the whole, just shapeliness. And I'm like, I'm a shrimp I'm like, like I am just a beanball. I'm just, and then fast forward to freshman year of high school, randomly, I put on those pair of pants and I put them on and they just went, and I was like, uh-oh, now wait a minute. Like I was looking in the mirror and said, no, wait a second, wait a minute. Like when I tell you like a glove, I was like, ooh, and let me tell you, my confidence rose because prior, all the jeans I wore, all of the pants I wore, they were really baggy, just like nothing shapely, nothing form-fitting at all. Those pair of pants, I wore them probably like less than 5 times after that, sashaying down the hallway, like, do, like I'm cute, I got my pants on, they fit right, And then one random day I come home from school and my dad is like, you're going to give those pants to your mom. And I was like, one more time. The pants that I love, give them to mom. Why? No explanation. Just give them to your mom. So here I am upset that I got to give my favorite pair of pants to my mom. I no longer get to wear them. Because in my household, I was raised like this very conservative Christian, like just really basic. Both my parents are pastors, modesty, the whole nine. So the reason why I was always in baggy or like ill-fitting clothing was, the female body is distracting, right? So when I finally wore a pair of pants that fit me and I felt comfortable, that was not okay. Now I had to give them to my mom. And so then that was like something. I was like, okay, something's not right here. And then the interesting nuance of also being a Black girl and being an awkward Black girl. Hello, because we exist. And being told like I don't have the right body, like I didn't have a Black girl body. My butt was disappointing, or like I had a small butt for a Black girl, like literally being told to my face these things when I was in high school. and like, okay, awesome. This is not going to affect me at all. This is amazing. Oh gosh. And yeah, that shaped a lot of how I saw myself and how I saw uh how I would be valued, I guess, in a sense. Like I, as a Black woman, as a ill-fitted, like not the right proportion Black woman, like there's no space for me, I guess. If I didn't have like a gigantic butt and like ridiculous hips and like all the things, then like where was my worth? Like what were you gonna bring to the table, kind of. And I will say, just to wrap this all up, now I'm on like this journey of like really finding like comfortability and like in myself and how I look, because because of quarantine I did gain like 15, 20-ish pounds. And then that went through a whole other thing of like, oh my god, I'm a monster, and then that was a lot. But like I'm on a journey right now of like self-acceptance and like tapping into like my womanness, like what it means to be a woman and how I feel comfortable in my own skin and how I can like exude that and help other people as well in that. So in a nutshell, that is my story.
So before we go to the next person, what I do want to say is this is not exclusionary. So just because we're women of color that are on here, it doesn't mean that we're excluding people that are not of color. Okay, non-people of color. So this is for everyone, because just because our skin has some extra melanin doesn't mean that it's a woman. It's not a woman's struggle.
Yeah.
And just because we're women doesn't mean that men don't go through similar things, because men, they're too skinny, they're too short, they're too stubby, they're too dad bod, beer belly, you know what I mean? They got a lot going on too. You don't have all the ripples in the right place. You know what I mean? Your nose is too big, all these other things, all those things. So please know, we're talking about body image from a female perspective tonight, but we're not excluding anyone from this conversation. Okay. So if you're a man and you're willing to get up here and talk about male body image, hey, let's do it on the next one. Okay, Denisha, you're next.
All right. Well, my name is Denisha, and my body image journey, it kind of took a turn for me. About 5 years ago, I went through a divorce after 17 and a half years of marriage. And when you're in a situation like that, you've been with one person for a very long time, so you're very comfortable. So all of a sudden, I find myself back on the dating scene and looking at myself after having 4 children. I had 4 kids, 2 cesareans. My last 3 pregnancies were back to back. Every year I was pregnant, so my body went through some stuff. And I'm 5'2", so I'm short and I'm curvy. And, it's just, I remember distinctly, it was about 5 or 6 months after I had filed for divorce, and I'm still getting myself together, taking care of my kids, all that. And I just stood in the mirror and looked at myself, and I was like, who is going to want me? I'm just getting out of this relationship. I've been with this person a long time. I don't even know how to be with anybody else. Like, I don't know how to do that. And then you're looking at, your body that has been through 4 children and years of relationships and all that. And I'm looking at my belly, looking at the stretch marks. I'm looking at breasts that are not as perky as they used to be. Just looking at all kinds of stuff. And I'm thinking, who's going to want this? And I remember that was the first time that I seriously considered having a full mommy makeover, plastic surgery. And I started looking into it, and I'm a researcher. So I just don't, when big decisions like that, I just don't jump into it. So I remember watching hours of YouTube videos. It's a lot of women that have, get on there and they share their whole journey and everything. And, stuff is leaking and they're wrapped up in stuff and all this, stuff is going on. So I wanted to know what I would be in for if I did a full breast lift, full breast augmentation, full tummy tuck, all that. I wanted to know what I'd be in for. And I just decided that if I have to sit around, and this was just for me, if I have to sit around and cut on myself and get this stuff lifted and tucked and stuff sucked out and all this other stuff for somebody to want me, then I'm just going to have to figure out how to either be by myself or find somebody that accepts this body that I'm in and this personality and this amazing person that I am. I was like, I'm just going to have to get that figured out because I didn't like some of the results. They didn't look natural to me after a while. So just I decided that it wasn't for me. But still to this day, I still struggle. I have this belly, this pooch that no matter what I do, no matter how dairy free I go, keto, no matter what I'm doing, I cannot seem to tighten up this bottom layer of this stomach that has been cut open twice, delivering children. I just can't seem to get it. So I said, you know what, Lord, you have to find somebody that likes the fupa. You got to find somebody that don't mind squeezing that because honey, I'm not getting this cut. I'm not trying to, do all this or whatever. They just gonna have to be okay with kind of that over when they need
exactly.
That's just where I was with it. And I just had to learn with where I was after, my marriage ending and all that, and me learning Denisha all over again and learning this new normal that I had to relearn myself and learn to love this body that I'm in. And I've just decided that can't nobody tell me that I'm not pretty because God made me and he's beautiful. And therefore, as he is, I am. So that's how that goes. And also with me being short and curvy, I just have to say that, you know what, Jesus died for all these curves and y'all just about to get every one of them. So we're not gonna put them.
Yes.
I'm 5'2". Where they going? I'm vertically challenged. I got a lot going on, but that's just this how he made me.
Look, the curves are coming for you. Watch out.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And it was interesting what you said, Andrea, first about how Black women's, Breonna said that, how women's bodies can be, especially sometimes Black women's, can be viewed as distracting. And we have to cover up and we need to not be so seductive and not be so whatever when we ain't even trying to be that. We just putting on jeans. We just putting on jeans and a t-shirt.
Hello?
And we are not trying to distract. We're not trying to make your husband look at us or whatever, or your boyfriend if his neck is doing whatever, that's on him. I can't help it. I'm 5'2" and curvy. I can't help that. I'm not out here like, look at me, not doing that. So we can have a lot of pressure to try to, constrict things or pull things in or try not to be sexy and all this other that when we're not even trying to do that. And we can be in the mirror at home thinking, man, I got this stomach, stuff is sagging, stuff ain't where it's supposed to be, these stretch marks all over the place. So for me, I just had to come to a point where I learned to love myself. If this whole life journey I've been on, everything God has brought me through in this body. So I had to learn to love this body. And I said, Lord, you're going to send me somebody who loves this body and they're going to love these curves and they're going to love this fupa and it's going to be all right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go back and read some of the comments. People are excited about what we're doing tonight. So Mark said that he can sing. So I don't know about what that sounds. So disregard that. I don't know what's going on. Y'all pray for my husband. He thinks I don't know who he thinks he is. But anyway, Lynn says, so much truth, Denisha. And then Ivy Lynn says, and she says, yes, friend, confident. And Gwen says, that's on him. Yes, girl, that's on him.
That's on him.
That's on him. Okay. All right, we jumping ahead of time. Okay, I'm not gonna make you last. I mean, I want to make you last. So just give me a minute, and we're gonna have Whitney, and then Nora. I want you'll introduce yourself last. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Whitney.
Hey.
Bring it, girl. Bring it.
Okay, so I'll try to make it short. As far as body image journey, just context, like I come from a biracial family. My mother's white, my father's black. I grew up in like a basically all white community. I've been an athlete my whole life, so it's a little bit different, I guess, in a perspective of I've always had like a pretty realistic, like how I look type of deal. My dad did not, sugarcoat anything. Like my friends were like, oh my gosh, your dad told you to lose weight. And then like, as a high schooler, I'm like, here's the thing about it. My dad said there's walk around weight, there's competing weight. As an athlete, it's different. So things like that never bothered me. A lot of body image stuff, like I said, like growing up, you know, like as a mixed kid, like you're not dark enough, you're not light enough, you don't really fit in anywhere. And you're looking at yourself and you're like, well, I remember like watching, like, y'all remember 106 in Park, right? Watching music videos or whatever. I'm like, I can't get my hair like that. Like my hair's not textured like that, but I can't keep it straight. Like this, like it's up right now, y'all, but it's like huge and curly and whatever. Like I started the natural hair deal before it was like, you know, cool too. So it was like, people like, oh, your hair looks like a mop. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. You know, like great shots of self-esteem, right? But now like it's accepted and whatever. But the whole deal of, you know, like being an athlete and, you know, you have to like look a certain way, like running track in college, like coaches will tell you, like, here's your pink slip, like you need to lose weight. You know, this is not a negotiable, like this is your job, and to perform is all about, you know, physical. And I get that, there's nothing wrong with that. However, in some regards, like going from running track in college and then doing bodybuilding, it's all about how you look. It's not about how you perform anymore. It's just about how you look being in the bodybuilding world. And so if you're obsessed with how you look, there's a lot of, even with men, I actually had an ex who, like, I mean, he's passed away now, but like there's body image issues because you get obsessed with how you look on stage, which is not realistic to maintain over a whole year. Like you look like that for like 4 days. So, and because it can get unhealthy. So those issues are very much there and real, and kind of like the same deal with Andrea. Like I'm in the itty bitty committee around here. So like I tell people, I'm like, yeah, this is brawl. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? And it's fine. It is what it is. But I guess on my deal of like, okay, I always have to be in shape. I always have to be like this. I always have to, you know, be on. Like people be like, Whitney, why don't you wear this? And I'm like, oh, my abs aren't showing the way I want them to. So therefore, no, I'm not wearing this today or whatever else. And then getting into the modeling world of things, it's a lot. So everything's how you look. Like even doing a shoot, like on Monday, I'm like, make sure it doesn't look like I have a rolls in the back. Like, because when you turn a certain way, like everybody has that. When you sit down, you look different than when you stand up. It is what it is. But always like in the world of, you know, athletics and modeling and things like that, like you're always very conscious about it, like how you look in this, how you look in that. And I refuse to like wear like shapewear stuff and whatever, because I just like to be free. So I'm always like, okay, I don't want to have to suck anything in. So I'm always like going at it, which working out is great, but it can be unhealthy as well. Like it be obsessive. So that whole deal of things. And also, I guess, as far as like body image, like I said, like being a mixed kid, like I just had the experience last year of going to Morocco. And for you guys who don't know, Morocco is like Northern Africa. You kind of would think some of them like, looks kind of like Arab African mix, right? That's the only time in my whole life at 2 years old, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm someplace where everyone looks like me. I don't feel like I'm too light. I don't feel like I'm too dark. Everyone looks like me. And like, I legit cried. I didn't want to come back home to America. I was like, let me stay here. I fit in. This is great. I had just never had that experience. So, going through a lot of things, like, and it said the whole deal of like, oh, your breasts are too small or this, and you compare yourself. Especially in the modeling world, like everybody gets work done, like get their teeth done, you get your nose done, you get your boobs done, you get hips and whatever. Like I go to Miami and I'm like, this is what I have to compete against, Dr. Miami out here, you know, with everybody getting work done. But it comes to a point where like, I just got to the point like, hey, this is me, this is what you get. Like I'm gonna be the best version of me. Like, I mean, I work, people like, oh, you look so good. I work out all the time, you know, like I would hope so. But you still get that comparison deal. Even to myself, I'm looking at pictures of like, I'm not 18 anymore. You know what I mean? Like I don't owe anybody anything. Like Iowa State, I was like, oh, I want my legs bigger. I like how I looked when I was college, but I'm not willing to do those workouts anymore either. So therefore, it's not happening. And this is just where I'm at 33 years old. You know, I'm not 18, 19, 20. I'm not going out there doing 400 meter repeats. It's not gonna happen. So my legs ain't gonna look like I'm out there doing 400 meter repeats. So this is just what it is.
Right.
But I think the whole deal of just accepting where you're at, but not like settling and being content. But I'm always in a deal of like trying to improve. But I mean, everybody deals with it. You get on social media, it's a comparison. It's a constant comparison. So I'm just, it's a constant journey. I don't think it's ever going to stop, especially in the social media world that we live in. So knowing where you're at, where your foundation is, even with hair, like just last year, or was it earlier this year? Last year, California having to pass a deal that you can't ban people discrimination about natural hair for like Black people.
For those of you who don't know, it's called the Crown Act.
Called the Crown Act.
Yes. So I remember like going through like always straighten my hair. Because one, I didn't know what to do with it. Okay, like being natural was not like the thing. You know, everybody got a relaxer put in and everything like that. So here I am now, just hey, what you get is what you get. Sometimes my hair is there, sometimes it's not. And look what I wear. I wear like Tanisha said too. Like you're always cover yourself up. And I know a lot of y'all follow me on social media. Like I do modeling stuff. I'm out there like swimwear. You know, it is what it is. Like you don't have to look, you don't have to follow, but.
Girl, come on.
So that's a snapshot.
Right. So look. Okay, so I got Latanya saying so insightful. Marcus says itty bitty, it is what it is, it be what it be. He also said, love you for who you are, where you are, and what you got. Yeah. Okay. Lynn says we need more of this in today's culture. Too many women don't love themselves and are unhappy because they compare themselves to others.
Right.
I told you we was gonna do some damage.
So good.
All right, look. Okay, so I did not make Nora last because I just wanted her to be last. I made her last because, like, I'm so honored that she is on this platform. Like, Nora's my hero. Not saying that y'all not my heroes, but Nora's my hero. She is a social media influencer. She's got about 3,000 followers on Facebook and like 4,000 or 5,000 on Instagram and all this other stuff. And she does women's issues. And I'm sorry for introducing you again, but I'm gonna let you talk about you and your body image, Nora.
Okay. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yep.
Hear you.
Okay, thank you for that. That was so sweet of you to talk about all my social media accolades, even though I'm making $0 from all of that. I just made a post and I'm like, y'all, I'm ready to go viral. I need to get the check, the social influencer check. I haven't got it yet, y'all, but it's coming. It's right around the corner. Like literally, I feel it. It's coming. I feel the rain coming. My ears are itching. But hello, y'all. I'm Elnora Brown. I am the founder, CEO of Girl Talk Inc., organization I started to merge mental and spiritual health, y'all, because it's so incredibly important to be mentally sound in this world. And what a great topic to talk about, body image, right? So I loved hearing all y'all stories, first of all, because y'all in a world that I have never lived in, especially you, Whitney. Like, girl, let me talk about some abs. It's just been a dream.
Right.
I've never experienced that type of gym or whatever you was talking about, running around on something. Like, I've never done any of that. And so to be able to sit and hear people talk about that, like, girl, I came up the stairs with my daughter and almost died a minute ago. And so it's like to hear you speak about running around a track and abs and getting on the stage, like, I love that. Like, I'm here for every single piece of that. And so for that, I'm gonna let you get in on my world because I know you ain't never had these type of problems. But so I am considered a BBW, big beautiful women. They have a whole community of us. TikTok has a community of us. Like, it's a whole world out there of plus size women who are killing the game and just doing really well. And like you said with the hair, that has not always been popular though. This just became a thing. Like, this has never been like all of this. I feel like the world has moved on this subject, like as far as accepting bodies, different shaped bodies, the world really embracing different people. We have done strides in the last couple of years behind this, y'all. So I felt that because I was on that outside. And I'm not saying, I feel like everybody feels like they're on the outside, but there is a group of folks who fit the mold. They don't know they fit the mold because they usually don't know they're in the group, but we know. But anyway, so body image has been incredibly important to me over the years. I've always been a plus size person. I was a plus size little kid. I guess you could say that. I don't even know if plus size works when you little, but I was at I feel like self-fulfilling prophecy is real, y'all. The nicknames that people call me. Let me share a nickname if somebody called me, y'all. And I will say don't tell nobody, but this is live. So my mama used to call me Fatso. I said, why would you call a 3-year-old that? Is a nickname, y'all. And I'm like, why would you call your little kid that? But I was chunky. I was a chunky little girl, and people thought that was cute for me. But anyway, y'all, I grew up and I did not like being called that. I'm like, don't call me that no more. After I realized like that's not a good nickname to call people that make them feel like they overweight or whatever. But let me tell y'all something, like it didn't hurt my feelings. It was just natural. That's what people called me. And then when I got into school, nobody ever came. I never got bullied. So I don't have a story about being bullied for being overweight or none of that about my weight. But what happened with me was my hair. People didn't like my hair. Like I had the biggest struggle in the world with my hair. I could not manage my hair. I couldn't do anything with my hair. So one day when I was in like 4th grade, my dad thought, oh, we can just cut your hair and we can start you all over. No, don't do it. Cut all my hair off, y'all. Yes, in the 4th grade. Like that's a huge deal. Like, why would you cut my hair off? So I had to go to school basically with no hair and earrings. People were like, "Oh, is that a boy or a girl?" Like they would make fun of my hair so bad, y'all. So it was just horrible growing up like that. And then I was chunky too. So chunky, no hair, like just not doing well in the 4th grade. Like just doing bad. So then I got to 5th grade, my hair started growing. Let me tell you, so like my older sister, I had a big sister, y'all. Sisters are so important, okay? Blood or not. Incredibly important to get a sister around you who gonna get in a fight with you, right? My sister got in a fight with me and my bald headed her, right? That's what they was calling me. So that was like the bald headed hood rat. Ain't got no hair in the back, blah blah. In the songs created. I got the songs, y'all. They called me the name. So I'm laughing now, but it was not. It was not.
You laugh.
So
I was
mean.
fighting as a kid. I was
Yes,
fighting.
yes. Let me tell you, girl, I was hitting people on the head and everything. So anyway, don't worry. I handled all of them. I handled all of the girls. I put them in a place. So don't worry about them. They was handled. If y'all watching today, some of my people I beat up in 5th grade is on my Facebook now. So if y'all see this, I'm sorry about the licks I passed, but you shouldn't have called me bald. Anyway, so I beat up all the girls. Don't worry, and some boys. I used to fight boys and girls, y'all. Don't worry, I beat them all up. So I was not the one. Anyway, so we took care of them and we beat them all up. But anyway, on the backside of that, so it wouldn't happen in middle school, my sister, right, y'all, she came through with the hairdressing. So my sister used to braid my hair, honey, braid your braids all the way down to the floor if you let her. Like she was the bomb. So she turned into this great hairstylist, practicing on my little bitty short hair. Like her challenge in life was to grip that little bitty hair and get it into a braid, honey. And she became perfect with that. She could grip that little hair. We used to put little rubber bands on it till we got long enough to get the whole braid on it. And next thing I know, we were slaying. We went into 6th grade slaying, honey, swinging braids. Like what? Bald headed where? My hair is done. What? Yes, hair is done. What? So and so like the whole time we going through this process, I'm not even worried about the fact that we in size 14 jeans in the 8th grade. Like I'm not even worried about the body, because I have the boobs, I have the big butt, I have that figure that people's looking for, and it became annoying actually. Like boys would throw themselves at you for having the big boobs, having the big butt, and all of that stuff, and like follow you around. So actually, I got tired of the people who would come to me about my boobs and about my butt, and so I started realizing, do you even really like me, or do you just like the way I look? You get what I'm saying? So I start wanting to find people who love me for me and not my body, which is weird because I know people's like,
Ooh, go ahead.
it was weird to me that it's a group of men out there that fetishize plus size women or really small women or feet or just weird stuff. And I'm like, and because of that, I hated the fact that I had that. So I started trying to go the way of, I want to lose weight. I want to get all this off me. I don't like being plus size because people are like throwing themselves at me because of this reason. And then on the health side of it, I started trying to lose weight because I realized it was unhealthy too. But you can't really say that and be all about plus size, kind of like Monique did, because I was like, because I kind of want to empower myself, but I don't want to die of diabetes either or high blood pressure. So I'm trying to like find my healthy balance and loving myself, but also hating diseases that come along with this. And so just always trying to find a balance of loving myself, but also understanding I need to be healthy as well. So how do you love yourself in that area of trying to lose weight? So you have an image of what you want to look like, but you also know who you are now and being comfortable in your skin right now, right? So you get these goals like I want to lose 20 pounds, but I also don't want to be self-hating either while I'm still holding the 20 pounds. So that's something I've always struggled with right there. Just always like loving myself for who I am, but also knowing I want to be healthier too on the back end. So, and I know I talked it a long time. So I hope that that was good, Andrea. I'm sorry if I went over my time.
Okay, look. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. We got a bunch of comments right there, right then. Plus size women tribe. Lynn. Marcus said, "Oh Lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you went through all that, Nora." Says, I remember being laughed at in the 5th grade because in science class we put all the strands of hair under the microscope to study, and mine was ultra thick, which was strange to everybody. The entire class laughed at me and made fun of me. The teacher didn't know what to do. Oh my goodness, that is terrible. Latanya said, "Y'all got me sitting in the car loving this. Let me take myself to the couch." Look, okay, this is good. This is like good. Okay, this is a series. So this is part 1 of the series. Like we just came out swinging tonight. We've got about, let's see, we got about 20 minutes. I got a few questions for y'all ladies. Make them as short as you can, please, because I want to get through it. But one of the things that we talked about, we reiterated, is the body image. And in this culture, which myself and Whitney have pointed out, that there is one universal image and one universal body standard that not everybody fits in. Okay. Now, like Nora said, we have made strides, but we need to make more. And the reason why we're not just doing this to air out our dirty laundry. We're not just doing this just to be on here to talk about and bash our culture or whatever. We're doing this for awareness, for not only women to say, yeah, me too, but men to say, you might want to think about that a little differently. Maybe we need to change our perspective on how we're judging these women. Okay. Yeah. So it's not just for women, it's for men too. Okay. So let's talk about it. Y'all ready? Let's dig in. Beauty standards in the U.S. All right, Denisha, talk about it. What do you think about beauty standards in the U.S.? Make it as short as you can.
I think that they are wildly European. And I think that if you have a stick body with no butt, that you are considered beautiful and highly acceptable. If you are short and curvy and chocolate like me, then there's something wrong with you. Your butt is too big. Your breasts may be too big. You're too seductive. Your curves are too much. And if you have this straight up and down body, then that's more acceptable than having a curvier one. So I think that the beauty standards in America, especially where we are European in nature. And with Black women, if you don't have all those curves built in, it's like Brianna said, then you don't fit into that beauty standard culturally with us. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like where do we fit in?
Intersectionality. I'm sorry, I'll jump off of that. Anyway, Whitney, talk about beauty standards in the U.S.
Yeah, I had to agree with Denisha. Like I said, growing up in like a biracial household, living in like community, like you're kind of stuck in this deal, and you realize, like I said, always trying to straighten my hair because, you know, I remember even growing up, people like, oh, look, can I touch your hair? Because it's different, you know? And so you're always trying to like this standard of like what is beautiful, what is pretty, and what you see on the media all the time. It's only been in the last 5-10 years where you really see this change and shift of this natural and like inclusion of all like ethnicities. You look at old ads and commercials, you're only really now seeing like biracial couples and biracial kids and things like that on advertisement. So there was never a place for some of us who were stuck in the middle. And so now you're seeing that even in the modeling industry, like I do a lot of stuff with Be Fine. So you guys know it's like a Black owned swimwear brand. Well, this last year at Miami Swim Week, the designer, she cast all Black models. That's what she does. And these ladies do this for a living. They're models, right? And you have plus size. She puts everybody in there. And the one girl said, I've never been in a show where I felt so accepted and worthy, like being in an all Black show. So knowing like this is what the media pushes, as far as like the standard, and it's a very slender, slim, tall. Like when we talk about modeling, I don't fit any of the check boxes, right? I'm not 5'9" or above. I'm not a size 4 or smaller. I am, too muscular, too wide, too whatever. So there's a certain standard that comes along with it. And most of that is 5'9" and above, size 4, a lot of times size 2 and smaller. Your bust size has to be a certain deal, and shoe size and everything like that. So is, yeah. Like they don't want you're walking down the runway, you like size 10 feet, they just don't do. Like even me as a size 8.5, they want, like size 6,
That's crazy.
or 7. So yeah, it's super unrealistic, so that many people don't fit in. But now you're getting a deal where people are embodying like curvier.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Natural people.
I'm
serious.
Stop. 5'9" with size 6 feet.
You gonna fall over. You can't stand up.
Not always, but listen, it's a super unrealistic standard.
Okay.
Like if you are like, look, I played sports and I played basketball and stuff. You have people with size, 10, 11. That's not gonna happen. It does, but yeah, your standards here in the States are very different. And even traveling, listen, y'all, I thought I was the finest thing in Spain and Morocco. Let me tell you, they appreciate different things.
Let me go to Spain.
Hello.
It won't disappoint.
Let's talk about beauty standards in the U.S. and how they've affected you or those around you.
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm with her. I like going overseas. It seems like the men that fill up the inbox be from Africa or Jamaica or from somewhere else besides the U.S. They love voluptuous women. They love Black women. They just love us, over in different countries. But it seems like in America, you have to fight to be you. It's a fight to be anywhere in the workspace. Let's go to my professional career. Even though I'm fitting in on social media and people's laughing at me, when I was a professional, I didn't fit in anywhere. Like I couldn't fit the little suits that they sold and the things that pose like buttons that button around your breast. They would come up with unrealistic shoes that you had to wear all day. Like I wore a 10.5 wide. Like I can't wear that little bitty church shoe around. I call it a church shoe. They call it dress shoes. Them is church shoes. I'm not wearing them on the concrete floor and have my feet swole up at the end of the day. Like no, y'all got little bitty feet and little bitty bodies that can hold on them feet on those shoes. I can't hold a lot of weight on that 200 plus pounds on them little shoes all day. Like I can't do it. And so like it was just all types of things that people didn't think about when you go into professional settings, when you're a different body shape and just anywhere, general stuff. When you go on an airplane, the seat's too little, everything little, you hitting everybody, like just general overall. And I don't know if that's across the world or everywhere you go, but I know my experience in the US has just been people don't accept you. Like you said, if you're not that perfect body shape, even though you have to go into your certain communities to fit. But if you went on to like the national in the majority place, you would be the odd man out or odd lady out. So,
Okay, Bree. Okay, remind me to ask this question. No.
Okay.
I got a question. I'm gonna put it out. I'm sorry. I gotta put the question out there, and then Bree, I want you to address the other thing: beauty standards in the U.S. and how they've affected you. Okay, my thought was: have you noticed that when plus size women get into the movie scene, they're no longer plus size women? I want to talk about that. Okay, Bree.
Oh man, well then I don't want to mention. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, body standards. Okay, beauty standards. So actually, what I find very interesting, I was talking with some friends of mine a few days ago, and unfortunately, like many people, because of quarantine, I downloaded TikTok, and it has enveloped my life, if you will. And what I've noticed is there has, and what I've seen just being a younger person and like what younger people are advocating for is like a lot of body positivity, a lot of inclusion for all people, no matter like what they look like, what's going on, blah blah. I love that. I love what we're doing. I love young people for that. But I'm on TikTok. I'm talking with my friends, and we notice a trend where it's like, oh my god, yeah, beautiful. It comes in all different shades, all different colors. Yet I'm looking at all these people who go viral, these beautiful people who go viral on TikTok, and if they're people of color, they have very Eurocentric features. Like they are gorgeous, chocolatey skin, like the darkest of the ed, like just gorgeous. But they have small nose, like arched eyes, like high eyebrows, like high cheekbones, and it's just and even there's even one girl that comes to my mind who my jaw literally dropped. She looked like if there was a Caucasian woman who was blackfishing, that's what she looked like.
Wow.
Like that's just expertly done. But she was a black woman, but she looked like a white woman just painted darker. And her feed crazy, comments crazy because she's gorgeous, she's this, she looks so exotic, blah blah blah. Versus, you just have like your average run of the mill, like regular black girl, regular black guy, regular other person of color, and they don't get as much compliments, as much of the exposure.
Yeah,
it's just regular looking. Versus if you just happen to be a black person with more exotic features, then now we're getting somewhere. Now we're cooking with some hot grease. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And it was just so interesting because it's, yeah. So, oh Lord, yes, this is so much to unpack there. But anyway, but yes, it's in a nutshell. Like I think that it's so interesting how it's like, yeah, everything. We love everybody, but only if you are and then
exactly.
Then we will. If not, I want to try the next one down the street. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I'll say about that.
Wow, I'm sorry. So many questions. Let me read some of these comments, and then we're going to jump into. You're famous now. You play a voluptuous character in a show or a movie, and then you're no longer voluptuous, and why that happens. Okay, so let's say Ivy Lynn says big feet are cool. Team size 11. Daphne says seriously, she needs to be a comedian. Talking about Nora. And Latanya says, I was never black enough growing up, which made fitting in so difficult back then. Like if you liked other stuff.
Oh my God.
Like you lost your black card.
I like heavy metal.
Don't get me started.
And dress like goth or whatever, but I didn't tell nobody.
Right.
Like you said you liked the goth. The fact that I'm laughing at you is probably not good.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I did that
in private. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't tell nobody. Not public. Anyway.
It's out there now.
Right. It is out there. Look, we grown.
You can't come to the barbecue no more.
Yeah, we grown. I was not okay. It's acceptable to listen to all kind of music and be like weird and stuff now.
Right.
Yeah.
Too. Don't be laughing at me. Anyway, let's talk about it. Let's jump into it. Let's see who I want to. Nora, can you talk about this? You see voluptuous actors, they're getting up there to represent people that are plus size women, and then they get out there and you see them a couple years later and they're no longer plus size women.
Yeah.
Like what do you say about that? Like how do we see how do we respond to that or think about that?
It's really sad. Obviously I keep up with those women. I see them as role models. Monique, for one, the comedian, obviously. I think about Jennifer Hudson, who did Dreamgirls and came back super small, still beautiful. And the lady off, I cannot remember, but she played on the show with all the singing, and now she's real little. It's the Caucasian lady.
Adele.
Yeah, Adele too, but this is a different lady. I cannot remember her name, y'all. She is a comedian, but she lost a whole lot of weight as well. But I see that this
Rebel
trend,
Wilson.
yeah, Rebel,
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, yes.
I
Listen,
love
I
me
call
some
all my
Rebel.
ex by their
now.
first name.
I love me
call
some
it
Rebel.
Jennifer, Adele. Like I know them in my spirit. Like they
Yeah.
know me. Like if we
Yeah.
met, we would get along. But
Yeah.
so I was thinking about Rebel, and I was thinking about Adele and all those women who I looked up to for being full figure women and breaking the mold. And then you see them in a year or two later and they small. I think it's because their management team is going back and saying, hey, you're
That's
not going
what
to
it
fit
is.
in. You're not going to make this amount of money. Do you want to get mainstream? Do you want to break the ceiling? Do you really want to make that next couple $1,000,000? Then you're going to have to do this weight. You're going to have to lose this weight. And I was sitting in on a social media class, and it's so true, y'all. Aesthetics matter. People say all day you got to do this, this, and that. No, you just got to look pretty and put a little cleavage out and be that type of woman that she talked about, and people will follow you. You will go viral. Like I've seen people who don't have any content, just a picture,
Come on.
and have thousands of followers, y'all, just
Yes,
because
Ain't
of
got
how they
nothing to
look.
say.
They ain't
Nothing.
got nothing to say, nothing
This
creative
video
to do. Just
looking
show up
pretty.
and look pretty, right? Stand
That's
over
it.
here by this light, get you a ring light, and stand up while people's pouring out their heart that look like me or other people. Real good content that will change lives and move nations and won't get any followers because it's about aesthetics. We say all day, oh, we for the people, we for the dark skinned and melanated skin. No, you're
No,
not.
no,
You
you're
calling
not.
people black crispy behind their back. Get right. Come on.
Right.
Stop playing with me. That's the first rag y'all use when they make you mad. Oh, you dark. You black crispy anyway. Oh, she dark. Oh, the dark girl. What about the dark girl? I thought I said y'all accepted melanated people and she
Right.
beautiful. I thought that chocolate skin was legit. But now that's a rag. It's you flexing on me because like what? So y'all have to really realize that just because people talk about inclusion doesn't mean you're included. It's a lie.
Absolutely.
It's a fallacy. And it's a lot of times people do these social media things. Oh, follow this certain thing and you'll get famous. No, you forgot to talk about the aesthetics. You forgot to say that you had big boobs and you put it on a thong and you got a big butt and you got a BBL. You forgot to say the BBL.
Yes.
You forgot to mention those things. Like you forgot to say you had high cheekbones and you had a full face of makeup and lashes and all of that. You forgot that. So people need to be honest about that type of thing. And I feel like the world is not being inclusive. And it's cool to say you inclusive, but not really be inclusive. Because you
Right.
see a black person say the same thing, and another person that's of a different race will do the same thing, do a voiceover, or take their content, say they
Steal their
words,
content.
and have triple the followers,
Yes.
millions, and
A
get
million
paid by
hits on the same video, and they done
getting paid
stole
by
that black
TikTok
person's
from
content.
somebody else's content,
Crazy.
y'all. Crazy. I seen
Crazy.
a lady lip singing, an older Caucasian woman lip singing a black girl's content, millions of followers. I go to the original creator, 3,000. Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all talk about it. Talk about it.
All right
Right.
now.
Y'all
All right.
remember? Oh, oops, sorry.
You
Just-
chomping at the bit. Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, no,
I feel like
because
I feel like Bree needs to come and get my back. I want to high five.
Come
Yeah,
on, Bree.
she was
Come on, Bree. Come on, Bree. Let's go, Bree.
it's literally okay. So, do y'all remember, like, for a hot second, when Black creators on TikTok specifically were on strike for not creating
Yes.
videos?
I remember that.
So we had these our Caucasian brethrens and sisterins trying to make their own dances because they ain't got nobody to steal from.
Yes.
When
That
I
was a
told
hot
people what
mess.
exactly what I was doing.
The hollering I did. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was just like they and what I love now, on especially what I've noticed, and I follow like pretty great people on TikTok, and my For You page is pretty great. But like people give credit now. Like there's one person specifically who I was like, they had a series of like using the same sound in like different contexts, and it was hilarious because like they just did this really creative thing. And then another person showed up on my For You page doing the same exact thing with the same exact sound. And immediately I was like, how dare he? And then I go to the comments and then it was like, props to @ for doing this first. And I was like, as you should.
All
like,
right.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Carry
like,
on.
okay.
Carry on.
It was so infuriating to me that Black people were coming up with these dances and all this other stuff as creative as we are.
Right.
And you get these little skinny, no butt having white girls who was biting off our stuff, shaking a little bit and doing whatever they doing and getting 3 million views and getting that check that you was talking about, Miss Elnora. They getting that check. We wasn't getting no checks, but they biting off of us, getting all of our stuff. and we weren't doing it. And I was so glad when y'all all went on strike and didn't have nothing to do. And then there was talking about hands in the air. I was like, y'all need to go sit in. All y'all need to go sit in.
So let me jump in real quick. We love y'all. Okay, so we're just talking about a reality.
That's all we're talking about.
It is a thing where Black creators will create things and white creators will take those things and create them, and they get more.
They get more play.
They get more money for it. They get more recognition for it. They go viral. So we're not bashing, but we are saying that there is a reality that we live in. And because we don't have a certain image or a certain aesthetic, then we don't get the same access.
Right. And we came up with the content and we don't get the credit for it. Somebody else can steal what we came up with and get the credit for it because they look more acceptable than we do.
Exactly. So we don't have Eurocentric features. We don't have all of the things that Eurocentric people have. So that's what we're saying. Not necessarily bashing, but we're going to talk about it. Because you need understanding. You got to be aware. Why are people upset? Because if we don't look a certain way, we don't get the credit for it. People can take it. It's just like back rhythm and blues, soul, all those things. We were creators in those areas. And those songs were taken and sang by different white artists, and they got all the money, and we got nothing. So,
where do y'all think Elvis got their moves from? Elvis got everything he got from a Black man. Everything he ever did.
Yeah.
He didn't come up with that on his own.
I'm not really sure if you've got to finish your comment, but like, did you finish what you were saying?
Who, me?
Brianna, yeah. Did you finish what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay. Whitney, jump on it real quick. And then we gotta jump on to something else.
Yeah, it's there's pressure in the industry. There's a lot of movie industry down here in New Orleans, so you see it a lot. I trained some people who work in stunts and actresses, all that. And there's pressure in the industry to fit a standard, a prototype. And so, like you said, you want to go mainstream, you want to do more roles, you want to be able to hit these bigger gigs and stuff. Like, you have to fit in. So there's pressure. There's pressure. I mean, that even goes like you said, like getting work done on your face or, certain features and all that. Like, and women aren't the only people who do it. Drake, they get their abs, Dr. Miami'd in and all sorts of things. So
did he get some work done? Oh my God.
There's lots of people that get work done.
That
you would be like, oh my God.
Do you have a list?
Lord.
Find this list.
It's nothing sacred, Jesus. What's happening?
Not Drake. Oh my God.
Not Drake. he was my friend.
So
ooh, I'm triggered. Oh my God.
There's pressure in the industry. So
all right, so look, here's my last question, because I want to bring it around, because we're all in Christian circles. We may not necessarily be in the same Christian circle, but we're all in Christian circles.
Amen.
So I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it in the context of Jesus.
Come on, let's talk about it. I'm ready. Let's talk about it.
In the context of, so we've talked about body image. I think there are so many perspectives on what modesty looks like and how women that have extra things shrink themselves to fit in a particular box.
All right.
Whitney, you talked about your modeling. You've talked about all these things. What's the main sentiment that you've heard throughout the years? And look. So we got to do this in 10 minutes, okay? So let's hit it, and then we got to get off. Okay?
So this whole deal of modesty and what is modesty, that's a whole bomb in itself, because it's very cultural. But like I say, travel in the world, modesty is not the same in every culture at all. So even here in the States in different areas, but overall in a lot of things, like as far as like, especially swimwear modeling, even when I was doing bodybuilding, people like, it's not accepted. But yeah, there's even times like where I look and kind of compare it, because like running track in college, you guys watch the Olympics, you don't wear a whole lot as women, like,
Right.
you know, but that's accepted because it's different. It's athletics. So I've always been like, hey, I wore less in college than I did in some of these shoots. But a lot of things, like, I know I was asked, hey, while you're here, please, if you would just not do any shoots, if it is more like fashion stuff or whatever, no swimwear and da-da-da. I'm like, okay, not a problem. But a lot of stuff, like, there's like, even tomorrow, there's content that I have content that's coming out tomorrow. And a lot of people, like, I've had people unfollow me or just, hey, it's not appropriate, it's not this, it's not that. I'm like, well, what do you see when you go to the beach? Like, I'm just wondering, like, where you guys go, what you see. And I mean, some things are different than others. Obviously, we talk about family friendly and adult things and whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. And that's not, everybody doesn't take that well, and it's okay, because I don't care anymore.
Yes.
That
And I'm
part.
trying to like, you know, because sometimes I get to going, but
Right.
I'll be as nice as
Y'all need to
possible
add me on
saying that.
Facebook.
I
both of
don't
y'all.
follow me on Instagram. Everything doesn't come on Facebook. But it's very much stay covered, this, that, the other. But it's also it's not the same standard for men. So I kind of push that. Like, there's been times even playing basketball, you know, the dudes will be out there, like, they'll take their shirts off. Oh, we going shirts and skins? Cool. Like, I take my shirt off. Oh, when you can't have your shirt off, why not? My abs look better than theirs.
Ooh.
Like,
Oh.
you know what I mean? Look, I'm that person. Well, it's not appropriate. Why not?
Mine
You know,
don't.
even we talk about like swimwear, but men will have their shirts off. Women, you got to wear a one piece. You got to be covered. Why? Like, because they can't control themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that unequal standard there with that, I'm like, but what if they are tempting me with their shirts off? No one thinks about that now, do they? You know what I mean? So, and the whole thing of modesty, you know what I mean? Like covering up and this, that, and like, even there was a time like I left and I did not come back where I was at because of situations like me doing bodybuilding, and hey, it's not appropriate. You're posting these pictures. It's not appropriate. And I actually had an associate pastor like be like, no, you guys are wrong. Like, it's a whole different world, and there's people who need to be in those areas. Because I'm like, you're not there with the people who struggle with body image issues and don't know themselves, don't love themselves. You're not there to be able to minister to them because you just think it's inappropriate. You're not around those people. But yeah, athletes, you'll applaud and not think a thing of it. So I just kind of do what I want. It's not accepted, and that's okay in some things. Yeah. And there's lines just as myself I don't cross. There's things I don't do just because that's me. But I don't really let any like organization or group or people say, hey, don't do this, Whitney, you shouldn't do this, that, the other. Listen, if I'm not supposed to do that, I got the Holy Spirit, he'll tell me. So
right.
And again, depending on where you're at, different things. When I'm in Miami, whole different ball game. You know, it's a whole different culture. When I'm out of the States, Brazil, whole different ball game.
Right.
And you know, it's culturally it's very different. And we talk about modesty and you know, covering up. So,
all right, let me read these comments real quick. It said it's so sad how they say they want you, but they really don't want you the way you are. It makes it feel just like they want to see how much of ourselves we'll give away to get what we want. Ooh, that was LaTanya.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Said, let's talk about it. Marcus said, let's speak on it. Gwen says exactly, Whitney. LaTanya said, if you don't preach, Whitney, yes, say that. Gwen said she don't care anymore. Whitney got me on the floor with all this truth she's speaking. Okay. And LaTanya says we need to do what we feel comfortable for ourselves and not be condemned by fellow believers. We are not saying that we don't follow the Bible, but what standard are we looking at? That's what it's trying to say. Nora, tell me about it. Tell me.
Man, I'm with Whitney, man. I don't care.
Yeah.
do not care. Like, I'm right there with her. Like, people need to go be quiet because listen, your convictions are not mine. Like, I
Come
don't know what
on.
God you serving, but I like to wear me a swimsuit and I'm finna let y'all see all these rolls. Oh well, like, okay, look the other way. You get to put a swimming suit on, I'm putting me one on too. Whatever
Right.
you can do, I can do it too. I just got a little extra. I got a little junk in the trunk. You gonna see it. I don't care. I remember going, y'all, to in-house. They put me in in-house suspension because I wore some shorts to school. And I'm like, everybody around here is wearing shorts. Oh, that's not our, you got to put your hands down. And I'm short. My hands are short. My shorts was hitting my fingertips like the little man told me to do. Principal come over there and looking at everybody. And I'm like, my shorts are strapped. Well, Miss Scott, you just look different. You literally telling me I look different, so I got to go to in-house suspension because of my shorts? Like, wow. And all these other girls got it. Like, I've never been in trouble before. Y'all, I was a good student, A student, went to
Wow.
college, did all that stuff with the halo. Like, what, little angel? I wasn't doing nothing. And you put me in-house with all these little kids in here doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, because my shorts, like, I'm not even with y'all, but let's go. Like, I guess I'm in here. And like, it just gave me the stigma to be rebellious. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole life from that time on, I just always wanted to rebel against the norms and crack these social norms. So like, I would go into churches and stuff and looking for people. Like, I dare these people to say something to me. I'm finna wear what I want to wear. And like, I just had a trip on my shoulder because I just be tired of people, like I went to the Bible school or whatever, just didn't get along with anybody. Like, it's just so
Wow.
funny. But like, it was just people wanted you to be a certain way, and I just wasn't going. I'm with you, Whitney. I do not
Yeah.
care. Like, I'm doing me. My convictions are not yours. I know the Holy Spirit. I'm a Christian. Like, I know all that I know about God and who He is and what He accepts in my life and who He made me to be and in my image, and God created us in His image. And that's your thoughts. Them is your convictions. Them is your man-made
That
rules
part.
that you made up and tried to put on me. And now I'm going to hell because you said I'm going to hell because you don't like how my shorts look. Like, come on, get
Right.
off of it. Not going. Not going. Not
That's so
today or
good.
tomorrow.
Bree, you ready? Bring it. Come on. And then
Oh.
Denisha, we gonna let you close out.
All right.
I'm ready. We can talk about this. Oh, I love talking about this. Because I, for one, cannot stand the concept of modesty as a whole thing. I hate it. I hate it all. I honestly hate what it stands for. I am a firm believer. We just do whatever we are comfortable with. And if a woman wants to just like cover up and like wear like cute long skirts, whatever, if she feels that's what she wants to do, then she can do that. If I want to walk around in a cute little the strapless thing with no bra on, then that's what I'm gonna do. And hello, like I'm sorry, like and what's this? Like because like for me, I'm just seeing the harmful effects of purity culture and what that modesty does is like coming out of just youth group, and especially like in the American evangelical, like just white church space is very like, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what you're not supposed to do. Like so many of these little bitty, tiny rules. And I've been deconstructing my faith for the past year, and just kind of like, okay, why do I believe these things? Like, where did this come from? Like, where is all of this? And just picking apart at all of these beliefs that I held so deeply rooted, and like, but that's not what the Lord told me Himself. That's what youth pastor Jeff said whenever they split up the girls and the boys. And the girls were like, we're going to talk about modesty. And the boys went outside to go play dodgeball. Like,
right. And become horrible husbands.
Right. Hello. Like, okay. And it's just, and one of the things for me was accepting my femininity and not seeing it as a bad thing and not seeing it as like an evil thing. Because
absolutely.
I was definitely raised like, being a woman, like your body is sinful. Your body is not okay. You have to cover it up. Because you're gonna get these little boys. Like you show shoulder, you show an ankle. Like God forbid, you show a little bit of cleavage. Like, oh my gosh, like you're just gonna have these boys out in the tizzy. And I'm like, oh my God, like I don't want to lead my brothers astray. Like, oh, like absolutely not. And I've reached a point where I am not about to dumb down myself.
Baby out here in these gray sweatpants leading me astray.
Come on now. Don't say that, Whitney.
The gray sweatpants. Did you say
like
that?
I am like out here. Like I am just like, I know I'm young, so I mean I don't have like that much life of like having to live in a certain mindset. But I, for one, am not going to live out the rest of my days like just closed off, or like just a shadow of myself to appease men, appease people, appease these weird people who don't even care about my life, who aren't even like in my
That
life.
Come on
part.
now.
Right.
And so I'm like, and for why? Like literally for what?
For what?
And one thing for me, I will say, this is my last thing. On Netflix, and this might make some saints angry. So let's see.
Hold on, wait a
Well-
minute. Wait a minute.
Documentary that really it opened my eyes to a lot of things, and as far as like where
So
I
maybe
went,
not say the title. So maybe tell us a little bit about.
yeah, that's fine. And the documentary focuses on like a group of women who go through a 6-month journey through pole fitness, basically. And there's this woman who's been like a forerunner in like pole fitness for women, just for all people, and like how that's like body positive and like engaging with like this in like our innermost feminine self, and being okay with that and being able to express ourselves in that safe space that we are not allowed to express ourselves anywhere else. And the documentary just follows a whole group of women 6 months into the program, and so many of those women's stories, and just like the documentary is beautiful. Like for me, like I was like, women are awesome. Like we are amazing. Our bodies are crafted from just the Lord himself to do amazing things.
Come on.
And I will be darned if I'm going to walk around hating myself because of some ridiculous man-made standard. Like, are you kidding me? Like, yes, I want to be healthy. I want to like, be able to run up the stairs and not be out of breath, right? That's what we all want to do. At the same time, like where I am is okay. Like I'm good. Like, and that, yeah, I mean, we can talk about that documentary later if you want. Like, if anyone wants a title, I can tell you later. But anyway, I found it to be an excellent resource in just like seeing women go through such a transformational journey.
Yeah.
And something that is so it's blatantly uncomfortable, but then when you think about it, like, why do I feel uncomfortability? Like why is it that I see these women who are expressing themselves and becoming like attuned to themselves? Why do I automatically think red flag? Like, where does that come from? And that was like, oh my God. And then we get into like internalized misogyny, and we just get into the whole other list of things. Like, woo!
We're coming back. We're coming back. We're coming back. We're coming back. Let me read some comments before you go, Denisha. Let's see. Gwen says, right, we have the Holy Spirit. No one else needs to be in that role. Ivy said, you better tell it, Bree. God didn't say that. Somebody made that up. And says, Bree, hitting the nail on the head. Gwen says, right, not to be in the shadows to please people. And she also says our bodies have supported us through so much stuff, right? So we're going to hit on that next week. But before I close out, Denisha, take us home.
Okay. I love what Whitney said about how she doesn't care anymore, which is great. I had to get to that point myself. When you speak about modesty and Christianity and these standards or whatever, I have just come to within myself that I'm not ever going to fit into that with this body that I have, with this frame that I have. And I am on a worship team, so I'm in front of people all the time, and I know my heart, and God knows my heart. And one thing I do like to do is look nice. That's just what I like to do. I am not going to wear baggy clothes that don't look right on me because I am short, and I'm just not going to do that. And so I can remember when we would have talks about what we should wear and all this other stuff, me feeling like, how in the world do I have this burden all of a sudden to stop all these men from lusting and to hide myself and to worship God at the same time, but be covered up and all this other stuff? And then, well, what if they're looking anyway? And what if someone thinks I'm being seductive right now and all that other stuff? I'm like, I don't have time for that kind of clutter in my head. And I understand what they're saying. We do have a way that we need to present ourselves. I'm not going to go up there in a string bikini, of course. That's not going to happen on a Sunday morning. I'm not going to do that. But I'm not part of the, I'm not part of the potato sack ministry either. I'm not a part of that. I don't have any of that in my closet. Bodycon dresses look amazing on me, and I will wear them because they look good on me. And different things my jeans that fit look nice on me. So I'm going to wear things that look nice on me. And I also think that these modesty standards were created to make other people comfortable, for you to shrink down and not be yourself, because women are insecure. When a woman comes in and she looks good and she knows she looks good, you can pick that up all over the room, and that's on her. She's built up her confidence, she's worked on herself, and she is radiating that. And that is kryptonite to insecure women. So all of a sudden you will have women that come up to you in the church like they've come up to me, and well, you look real good. You've lost a lot of weight, and we just appreciate how, like, when you do wear your dresses, like they are the appropriate length. And I'm like, well, what if they wasn't? Just I've had people say things like that to me. I've had people in the church say things like that to me. And I've also had my cute little black church mothers that say, girl, we like when you wear your dresses. You better keep wearing them. So I listen to them. That's who I listen to. And I've just learned that I'm going to love myself. I'm going to love this body, and I'm going to dress the way I want to dress. I'm going to make sure that because I am a worship leader, in whatever guidelines you're telling me, but I am not a part of the potato sack ministry. I am not going to be up there just looking like an Oompa Loompa, because I can't. I'm 5'2". I cannot do that. And so I've had to really shift that burden off onto God. And I've had to be like, whatever people are thinking right now, they're just going to have to think it. Lord, you know my heart. You know what's going on with me. You are connected to me. And my responsibility is to you, and to make sure that I'm doing things appropriately the way you're telling me to do that. My responsibility is not to be concerned with what everybody else is thinking about me, and what Christianity standards that people put into place are saying what I'm supposed to be doing, and what I'm supposed to be looking like, and how I'm supposed to be doing this. And and trying to make sure brother so-and-so ain't tripping up over stuff. Listen, brother so-and-so probably is one of the 60% of men that watch porn every single week before they come to the church. So y'all are messing with me. What I know. Brother so-and-so already been getting his high school before I got there.
Hello?
So let's just talk about that.
We can't talk about that
now. But what I'm saying is, you can't look. Those standards you can't put those are unrealistic standards that they're putting on women to shrink down and be a certain way, when we're just being ourselves, and that's it.
Okay. So we are coming back. I promise. We are coming back, and we're going to talk about this. Okay. We are. Let me read these last comments, and then I'm going to sum it up. Look, y'all, ladies, y'all. Ooh, okay. I'm going to calm down a little bit. But let me read these comments. Martine says,
you got to give him some time with the other stuff that she just said. Give him a minute. You got to let us digest it.
Listen.
I'm still stuck on
Talk about it, honey.
Talk about it.
Okay, look, let me read these comments. It said, right, Denisha, no potato sack ministry. We are not responsible for men, and if they can't control themselves, right? Latanya says, Denisha doesn't know, but I learned that it's okay to wear clothes that fit me, and not wear oversized clothes. I've been running more free ever since.
Come on now.
Denisha, you are so right. Ivy says, I'm about to get in my closet and put on a cute outfit right now. You better preach, girl. Okay, look, y'all. Okay, look. This has been absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to say this again. I am not trying. We are not over here bashing over here, but there are standards that we don't fit in. And there are standards that non-women of color don't fit in either. Right? So this is free. This should be freedom for everybody. Okay. Freedom for everybody. So next week we're going to come back, and guess who we're going to have? We're going to have Marie Rogers. We'll have Monique James, and we're going to have Wynn Harding. Okay. And then look, a couple weeks from now, we're going to have these same ladies. I don't know if they're going to be in the same order, but they're going to be back. All of them back. Okay. All right, y'all. Ladies, y'all blessed us. Oh my gosh, this has been so amazing.
This was so good. This was so good.
Y'all later.
It really was.
Have a good night, y'all. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.